Hello all, welcome to Abhiram IAS Academy. Let's begin our daily chronicles of January 3rd, 2025. These are the list of topics we are discussing today. ISIS must not gain foothold in West Asia. It is relevant to our GS2 topic, effect of policies and politics of developed countries. So this is the article. So let's go through ISIS history and what is ISIS and what is its agenda. So ISIS is nothing but Islamic State of Iraq and Syria. What are they? They are a violent extremist group who want to establish Sharia in an extreme form and govern the country with that law. Whoever opposes their law, they want to declare them as infidels and attack them. So let us understand what does their aim mean. So their aim is to establish a caliphate, okay, with a caliph who will govern the Islamic nation and follow the Sharia law. And they have Daesh as the agenda, that is nothing but implementation of Sharia in an extreme form. And then, so the group began as a small splinter group in Jordan in 1996. It was started by al-Zarqawi and the name is Jamaat al-Tawheed. So it began as a small group in 1996 and later the leader al-Zarqawi has declared his allegiance to Al-Qaeda of Iraq. Okay, but he was killed in a US raid in 2006. And later on, the group's activities were carried out by Al-Qaeda. However, it was later transformed into ISI. ISI is nothing but Islamic State of Iraq. So this group, Islamic State of Iraq, has took advantage of 2011 crisis in Syria, Syrian civil war crisis, and expanded to become ISIS, that is Islamic State of both Iraq and Syria, with Abu Bakr as its head. The group has reached its peak in 2014 when it has established its caliphate at Mosul. This is a city captured, and it is the second most important city in Iraq, which was captured by the group and declared caliph as Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi. So with him as caliph, they started governing the Sharia. However, the group couldn't last longer, especially after 2015 Paris attacks, which killed around 130 people. After this, global groups and nations have come together to form a coalition of resistance against them with the help of the local Syrian democratic forces. They are the Kurdish fighters. So with their help and with the multiple nations alliances like US, including Russia and the surrounding neighbors, they have successfully pinned down their expansion, and in 2019 they captured back almost all the territories like Mosul, Raqqa and Fallujah. So next article, why India should not return Sheikh Hasina to an unelected government. This is relevant to our GS2 topic, India and neighborhood relations. So the article is this: cost and benefit, India cannot hand over Sheikh Hasina to the unelected Yunus government. Let us go through Bangladesh history briefly. So in 1971, India helped Bangladesh to get liberated and separated from Pakistan to establish its own independent country. Okay, so but soon after, the leader Sheikh Mujibur Rahman has begun amending the constitution with Fourth Amendment, which threatened the parliamentarian system of democracy because his party Baksal wants to be the sole party, single party, and abolish all the multi-party democracy, which is threatening. So that's why there was a military coup. And in this coup, he and his family were assassinated, except for his daughters Sheikh Hasina and Rihanna. So Hasina came back when the peace was restored, and she became PM for the first time in 1996 election. She served for 5-year tenure, but after that, the opposition party, that is BNP, Bangladeshi National Party. There are two parties. One is Sheikh Hasina's Awami League and another is BNP, Bangladeshi National Party. So Bangladesh National Party has started ruling for next 10 years. And Sheikh Hasina again started ruling from 2009 till 2024 for a 15-year tenure. However, there were complaints about Sheikh Hasina's authoritarianism, which led to her ousting. So Sheikh Hasina, even in 2018 itself, the elections were accused of rigging. So there were protests all along, and the protest has intensified over controversial government decisions like quota system. This quota system reserves 66% of the government jobs, and out of which 30% will be for the descendants of the freedom fighters. So because of this, only 44% is left out in open competition. This created a lot of trouble, and so protesters began going in streets and supported by Bangladeshi Nationalist Party in this protest. So they have become violent also. So Sheikh Hasina had to flee to India on August 5th, 2024. So this whole violent protests have occurred during July. So that's why it is called as July Revolution. Okay. So Sheikh Hasina, she has gained all the opposition, and she came to India as a refugee. Okay. Just like Dalai Lama in 1959. We know that despite Chinese pressure, India did not yield to send Dalai Lama back to China. Similar way, article says India will not yield to send Sheikh Hasina back. However, Sheikh Hasina made some statements against Yunus government. Okay, Muhammad Yunus is a Nobel laureate. He came back to Bangladesh from abroad to serve as a caretaker government, head of the caretaker government. This caretaker government has demanded a parliamentary committee and extradition of Sheikh Hasina from India. So Sheikh Hasina's extradition was demanded by this parliamentary committee through note verbale. This is an informal communication given by the Bangladesh to India. However, as per 2013 extradition treaty between the two countries, the official communication is a must for extradition process to begin. So because of this, it seemed just like a measure to satisfy the domestic political entities. Okay, domestic pressures ni సాటిస్ఫై చేయడానికి మాత్రమే ఈ నోట్ వర్బాల్ అనే కమిట్మెంట్ ఇచ్చారు. రియల్గా ఎక్స్ట్రాడిషన్ చేసే ఇంటెన్షన్ లేదు అని ఆర్టికల్ చెప్తుంది. సో అండ్ ఆల్సో షేక్ హసీనా షుడ్ రిఫ్రెయిన్ ఫ్రమ్ మేకింగ్ సచ్ కమెంట్స్ అబౌట్ యూనిస్ గవర్నమెంట్. ఇట్ ఈస్ గుడ్ దట్ ఇండియన్ గవర్నమెంట్ హ్యాస్ నాట్ రెస్పాండెడ్ టు దిస్ నోట్ వర్బాలే, అవాయిడింగ్ అనదర్ కాంట్రవర్సీ అండ్ డైరెక్ట్ కాన్ఫ్లిక్ట్ విత్ బంగ్లాదేశ్. అండ్ Sheikh Hasina history is important to both India-Bangladesh relations and also Bangladeshi history, Bangladeshi liberation war also. So her family had made lot of sacrifices. So she is an important person, but just to safeguard her interest, she cannot be allowed to make such controversial speeches from Indian soil and compromise or instigate India-Bangladesh rift. Okay, So this is what the article says. Next article is government constitutes panel to reject the wholesale price index. So this topic is relevant to mains GS3, Indian economy and issues related to the growth and measurement. So what does the article say? So let us look at WPI, CPI and PPI. So WPI is nothing but wholesale price index. So production stages chala untai. Initial ga raw material stage untundi, then comes intermediate stage, then final production manufacturing stage, and then it goes to wholesale market. Okay, wholesale market daggara bulk trading jarugutundi of goods. So ee stage lo unde prices ni indicate chesede WPI. Then consumer price index. Consumer price index is what the MRP says, or market price, retail market lo unde prices ni indicate chesede enti CPI. And PPI or producer price index. So producer price index is little different from WPI. Why? Because wholesale price index covers only goods and not services, neither construction. But producer's price index covers all the three. So it covers goods, services, and also construction activities. So in India, we follow WPI, and CPI is headline inflation, which is used by RBI to track the inflation. Okay, so let us go through. So what does the article say about government panel to revise the WPI? Who is the chairman of this panel? He is Niti Aayog member Ramesh Chand, and the committee consists of 18 members and is given 18-month deadline also. So it is planning to convert the base year from 2011-12 right now to 2022-23. We usually shift the base year every few years or a decade to reflect the changes in the structure of the economy. Okay, structural changes has to be reflected, so we change base year every few years. So the article says about WPI. What is WPI? It has few components also. We have already discussed the basics. What are the components? So it is basically goods prices at wholesale market, right? So what are the components of this? It is manufactured products, primary articles, fuel and power. What is the weightage? అన్నిటికంటే ఎక్కువ ఉంది మ్యానుఫ్యాక్చర్డ్ వెయిటేజ్ వచ్చేసి 64.23. ఓకే, నెక్స్ట్ కమ్స్ ప్రైమరీ ఆర్టికల్స్. సో ప్రైమరీ ఆర్టికల్స్ అంటే ఇట్ కెన్ బి ఎయిదర్ ఫుడ్ ఆర్ నాన్ ఫుడ్ ఆర్టికల్స్, ఫుడ్ లైక్ వెజిటబుల్స్ అండ్ ఫ్రూట్స్, అండ్ నాన్ ఫుడ్ ఆర్టికల్స్ కింద వీ కెన్ హ్యావ్ మైనింగ్ అండ్ ఫైబర్స్. ఓకే, ఆల్ దీస్ కమ్ అండర్ నాన్ ఫుడ్ ఆర్టికల్స్ ఆఫ్ ప్రైమరీ. సో దీని వెయిటేజ్ వచ్చేసి 22.62. So this is primary articles weightage. Next comes fuel and power, which is the list. So order vachesi manufactured, primary articles, and then comes fuel. So fuel and power kinda em untai, generally energy related like crude oil, natural gas, electricity, all this come under this. So this weightage is 13.15. Okay, so let's revise. Manufactured weightage vachesi 64.23, అన్నిటికంటే highest. Next comes primary articles, that is 22.62, and last low 13.15. So this is fuel and power. So these are the weightages of WPI. Next, so who releases this WPI? It is Office of Economic Advisor, Ministry of Industry and Commerce. And so it measures, what does it reflect? Basically any kind of price changes at the wholesale stage, bulk trading, we have already discussed this. So it also reflects the supply side pressures. Okay, at the wholesale market you will know what are the supply side and supply chain inefficiencies, so it will help in reflecting these. And what are the negatives? We have already discussed. It doesn't cover services and it doesn't reflect the consumers and urban preferences, so that's why we have CPI for that. Next, producers price index. So producer price index we have already discussed. It is more broader, and also additionally it has global usage. Okay, global usage is PPI, not WPI. WPI is usually regional, okay, and it is more comprehensive also. So because it covers all the production stages, not just wholesale. Usually production lo chala stages untai kada, that is raw material stage, intermediate stage, and final goods, then wholesale, then retail. All these stages are covered in producer price index. That's why it is more comprehensive and more reliable and accurate also. So eventually we have to move to PPI. Okay, next. So we have talked about structural changes. That's why we have to change the base year. What are the structural changes which occurred in the past decade? Let us have a look at that. So 2014 law, we have taken UPI. So Unified Payment Interface, the PhonePe and GPay we use, it's all based on UPI. Then Janadhan Yojana. Janadhan Yojana kinda, government has opened almost 500 million bank accounts in India. Okay, of 500 million people. So then 2016 law, there is another structural change, that is demonetization. We all know demonetization, the notes were demonetized. And IBC. IBC is Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code. Basically companies crisis lo padinappudu, we know that in balance sheet problem, that is by companies and banks, their balance sheets are cash crunch problem. Okay. So these problems lead to insolvency, they are unable to pay their obligations. So then came IBC to help them resolve all these issues. So that is IBC in 2016. Then we have ENAM, Electronic National Agricultural Market. Instead of regular mandis, we have converted them to ENAMs. We have created a digital infrastructure and we have helped in integrating the agricultural markets across India to help in accurate price discovery for the farmers. Okay. Then comes GST. So then comes GST, we all know, goods and services tax. So it is an indirect tax reform, destination based tax. It was introduced in 2017. Its aim is one tax across the nation for indirect taxes. Okay. There will be unification of tax rates across India. That means Central and CGST will frame the tax rates in unison. So there is a GST council also for this. It is a constitutional body also. So that will frame all these tax rates. Next comes 2019. 2019 lo we have PM Kisan. PM Kisan is Kisan Samman Nidhi. We began DBT. Okay, direct beneficiary transfer, where we deposit the money directly into the farmer's bank account. And this was made possible because of JDY, Janadhan Yojana, because majority of the people have now bank accounts. Next, 2020 lo we have labor codes. Labor codes enti? So labor market regulations were very clumsy and they are one of the reason for lower ease of doing business in India. So they are one of the reason for lower ease of doing business, but eventually they were converted into 4 labor codes. Okay, some of them are industrial relations, occupational safety, wages, and dispute resolution. So all these codes were dispute resolution. All these codes were compiled. Okay, but they are not yet implemented, however. Then post-COVID, we have also began self-reliance, Atmanirbhar Bharat as the main agenda. So we have introduced PLI. PLI is production linked incentive. Okay, where we encourage the manufacturers to produce certain kind of products. Okay, like semiconductors or some electronic goods. They will get extra concessions. Okay, because they help us in reducing our reliance on imports and saving lot of foreign exchange reserves. Next, so why should we switch to PPI from WPI? We already discussed, it is a comprehensive mechanism, comprehensive index, and all the stages cover avutai. And to reflect the structural changes, we need to shift the WPI to PPI. It also has producers perspective more, so accurate ga manufacturing stages ela unnai, manufactured products enti anedi decide avadam easy avutundi. So accurate state of production can be predicted. Also cost push inflation can be predicted. Cost push inflation. So industries are unable to make proper decisions because of input cost increase. Okay, their inventories are stocked because of competitive prices in the market. So lot of companies are chasing for very few orders. That's why the orders are low at an all time. We will discuss in the next article. Then include services, construction, and also global practice. We have already discussed this. Next topic is related to science and technology in health. So injectable hydrogel for targeted cancer treatment. This topic is relevant to GS3, developing new technology. And prelims also, science topic lo it is important. So what is hydrogel? and what are the cancer treatment types and what are the side effects. So hydrogel, this is the article. So hydrogel is basically a tightly knit 3D, okay, 3D complex of peptide chains which has unique properties like it is water soluble, but its structure is not broken, so its structure stays intact even after absorbing lot of water. So it is compatible with the biological fluids also. That's why we have lot of biomedical applications for this hydrogel. Okay, so these are the advantages of hydrogel. So hydrogel looks like this, something like water bubbles. Okay, they can be injected into the body, and because of their structure they are similar to the body tissues and easily stay there for long period. So when we inject some cancer drug and carry them through these hydrogel molecules, it will stay there and slowly release the molecule, slowly release the cancer drug into the bloodstream. So the drug is more precise now. Okay, there will be precise delivery of the drug along with harmony with the biological system of the body. So the body will not reject hydrogel, and also we have precise delivery of the drug. So these are the advantages of hydrogel. However, so far they were soluble in the biological fluids, so they mix up. Difficult to send cancer drug through this. However, the IIT Guwahati and Bose Institute of Kolkata have begun developing this hydrogel, advanced hydrogel with ultra short peptide chains. So now it becomes insoluble in biological fluids. Okay, it resembles the tissues but it is insoluble, so the cancer drug will stay inside. Okay, it will stay inside and it will release only when GSH is high in the blood. What is GSH? It is a hormone, glutathione. This is present in tumor cells. This is present in the body when there are tumor cells in the body. So that's how it detects the cancer and delivers the drug to the cells of tumor. So that's what, let's revise the points. So injectable hydrogel for a targeted cancer treatment. Hydrogel. Hydrogel is a 3D network of hydrophilic. Hydrophilic is water loving. Okay, water loving polymers or polypeptide chains. It absorbs large amount of water without losing the structure. The structure will stay intact and it will resemble the natural tissues, and that's why it is widely used in biomedical applications. So cancer treatment and what are the side effects? So cancer treatment is basically radiation undachu, chemotherapy undachu, and also surgery. That is, benign tumors usually can be removed by surgery. Blood tumors blood aithe ganaka we need higher radiation and chemotherapy. Usually a combination of all three is used to treat the cancer. So కానీ దీనివల్ల చాలా side effects ఉంటాయి. What are they? There will be lot of fatigue and nausea also because of high radiation and chemicals which the body is not used to. And also lymphedema, అంటే బాడీలో lymph system ఉంటుంది కదా, lymph vessels లో lymph flow అవుతుంది. It will be filtered at lymph nodes. Okay, lymph nodes will be there in the body, but lymph nodes are removed in the cancer treatment usually. That will lead to swelling of the lymph nodes. That is called as lymphedema. Next, there are more infections also because of lowering low immune system, low immune strength. Next, damage the healthy cells also. They also damage. Another one major problem with these three conventional treatments is they will damage the healthy cells also. There might be cancer here, but the remaining cells are healthy, but they will also be impacted with the such harsh treatment. So precise drug delivery can help saving these healthy cells. Okay, these are the side effects. So with precision we can avoid all these side effects. That is the advantage of this hydrogel. So IIT Guwahati and Kolkata Bose Institute has developed this advanced hydrogel. There is advanced injectable hydrogel. It is stable reservoir of the cancer drug. Controlled గా రిలీజ్ చేస్తుంది కాబట్టి harmful effect లేదు పక్కనున్న cells కి. It doesn't harm any healthy cells. And the article says it can revolutionize breast cancer treatment. Next, the advanced hydrogel. So we already discussed and let us revise that. So advanced hydrogel of ultra short peptide chains remains insoluble in biological fluid. They developed a insoluble one. So it stays where injected and responds only to elevated GSH or glutathione, which is seen abundant in the tumor cells. Then benefits of both precision and harmony with the biological environment. So these are the advantages of advanced hydrogel discovered recently by the IIT Guwahati. Next article is factory activity at 12-month low. So factory activity. So this is the article. Factory activity at 12-month low. It is relevant to GS3 mains syllabus, that is Indian economy and issues. Usually industrial growth and a subtopic low. This article is relevant, and we can also find the relevance in prelims also in economic and social development regarding indices. Okay, so this is purchasing managers index. Who is a purchasing manager? So usually manufacturing companies or factories, they will have purchasing managers who will manage all the procurement of items which are used in the production of the final goods. So he is the purchasing manager. His decisions are the basis for this index. So it has few components also. Okay, so these are the components. New orders ఏమేమి వస్తున్నాయి, so that will tell us about the demand. Product ki demand unda leda అని తెలిసేది ఈ న్యూ ఆర్డర్ వల్ల. Then we have supplier deliveries వల్ల efficient గా డెలివరీ అవుతుందా లేదా. So we can assess the supply chain efficiency with this component. Then we have inventories. Inventories tell us about the stock of the products. Okay, if the demand is low, the stock will be high, and if the demand is high, the stock will be fast moving. So we can assess the trends in the demand using this component. Then we have employment as a component also, that will give us an assessment of labor market conditions. Okay, so all these components help in assessing the purchasing managers index. Okay, main purpose is it will indicate the business trends early, because production stage lone manaki anni components gurinchi telusu kabatti we can exactly accurately at least assess the business trends about the demand, labor market conditions, inventory, stocks, all this. So 50 unte there is no change. The index is usually 50 plus or 50 minus. What does these three indicate? 50 unte there is no change. Okay, there is no change. 50 plus unte expansion, and 50 minus unte there is contraction. Contraction in what? Contraction can be in demand, production, orders, everything, all combined. Next, so the article says new orders and output are the lowest in December 2024. So December, that is this month, last month is lowest. 12-month low undanamata. So November lo we had 56.5. Now it has contracted to 56.4. This indicates there is a growth because it is more than 50, but it is slow. Okay, so who published this ante? HSBC India. So HSBC India published this private purchasing managers index. Next, July to September quarter lo తీసుకుంటే manufacturing grew very low. Okay, abysmal 2.2%. Okay, which is disappointing. Then an article also says next quarter lo rebound అయ్యే chances చాలా తక్కువ. Okay, then other points. The article says input cost have uptick. Okay, input cost koncham perigayi, especially container, labor market charges, all these material charges have increased in cost. So input cost perigayi, but overall ga moderate gaane undi inflation matram. What does it mean? Cost perugutunnai, but the rate of increase is not so high. It is moderate. Okay, inflation is the rate of change in prices, that is moderate. Then even the article says there were initial ga konni layoffs జరిగాయి, కొంతమందిని ఫైర్ చేశారు ఫ్యాక్టరీస్, బట్ ఈవెన్చువల్లీ బ్రాడ్గా తీసుకుంటే దేర్ వాజ్ హైరింగ్, అండ్ ఇన్ఫ్యాక్ట్ లాస్ట్ 4 monthsలో హైరింగ్ వాజ్ హై. ఓకే, hiring was high in the last 4 months especially, but there are more signs of slowing down, which is a concern. So remaining concern is slowing down continue avvachu, so it may not give immediate respite. Okay, so that's it for today. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe to Abhiram IAS Academy.